Okay, so now that you've selected, you've said this is the one, making sure nobody else has it. Let's copy it. Okay. And this is the deal. We're going to copy it in to a new folder on your GitHub IO repo. And the reason I do this is so that when I start playing around with the template inside of my what we call root, I'm going to show you this in a minute, then I can always refer back to that code where it came from in case I mess something up, which could happen. It's okay. Break things. Okay. So the first thing, and I talked about this already a little bit, is I want you to open file open. Okay. Well, you where you have normally opened, right? Your CIT. Let's see, where's it at? Not here. Yeah, here. Okay, for me, this is where it's at. 80. So normally you open this, right? I want you to actually open your GitHub IO. Okay. Open that. And that then becomes the root. And in going forward, I generally recommend you do this, especially because here's what I've seen is that this is when things start to happen around adding additional things into links and images, and because the path to get to these locations when they're in subdirectories, VS Code based on your setup can end up kind of creating more of a pain than helping you, have fun with it. Okay, so try not to let that happen. All right, so here we go. So here's the contact, and then remember this one we did, right? So first thing I'm going to do is inside of my, and I just click inside of here. I'm going to create a new, and you actually already have one here from week 5, but we're going to create another one. Okay, so this one's going to be called backup. Now, backup is going to only be used to hold these things right here. Okay, it doesn't have, you don't have to get that one, but I'm just going to drag contact up into there, and it's actually going to move it, which is fine for me. I'm fine with moving it because I don't want it here in my root anymore. Okay, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So we have that. Okay, now by the way, this is all I'll show you as we go through. So now I have those, and I could go ahead if I wanted to right now and version control, get these, push these to get, but I'm going to do a little more work before I do that. You're welcome to do that if you want. So what I'm going to do is create a template, okay, folder. There we go. The template folder for me. And then I'm going to go where I downloaded it last time, took a look. Oh yeah, portfolio. That's right. Yeah, that's right. This is all I needed for me, right? Remember the other one, right? Had source, it was in distribution. So make sure this is where, by the way, if you don't know, come talk to me. You know, if you're not sure what you're going to copy over, come talk to me. Because in this case, can I make this bigger? Oh, I can. Good. Okay, I'll make this a little bigger. So a couple ways, and all I'm want to here's what I'm just holding the shift and I'm clicking on each of these items inside of the iPortfolio because that's what I'm going to end up dragging over into here. Okay. So again, if I was to do this one, right, then I'd go into distribution, and that's the one I'd hold the shift count down, and that's the one I'd drag over because remember a lot of this other stuff is for the build process. And some of it I've had a student in the past, when they copied everything over, ended up on some of these not rendering the site because of a file that was on there because it was trying to do what we call Jekyll, something maybe we'll learn about later. Not maybe in this class, but other ones. Okay. So again, this is the one I ended up landing on. So let's do that again. This is so within here, I don't want that top level folder. I only want what's inside of it. Okay. I click there and then I'm going to drag it over to here. Now I could drag it in another Finder window or another file manager, but it's just as easy, I believe here. Let's see. Because when I click and drag, and I'm not going to drop it, just kind of look what happens, right? Don't drop it yet, right? Because what happens is notice how if I click it here, it put it in my root. If I Now click meaning drop, let go of the mouse because I'm holding the mouse down here. So watch before doing, okay? So now I'm very sure by looking at the color of template, when I let go, it's going to copy it in there, and it did. Now, if for some reason it doesn't, yeah, you can fix it, okay? You could delete it and try it again. But I want it in a template directory, right? And I want just these, what we call static assets, not the build files. And again, I've just barely mentioned those to you here today. Okay. Come ask me if you're unsure. Now, what I did in this process, and let's just go ahead. Now I'm going to go into here. I'm going to open an integrated terminal. Matter of fact, let me just go look at the references to see if anything looks weird. No, that looks all good. Let's see about the links in the navigation. Nope, those all. I gotta fix these later, right? Because what I wouldn't want this thing to show, yeah, no, this looks good. And this is, so what you don't want to see is like that root folder name. And I think if you did it the way I showed, you should be fine. So I'm going to do git add star, which is going to be a big git. I mean, a big add because it's adding all these files. Git commit dash m, adding my template. Okay. That's the, wow, look at all that. Look at all those files. Huge, right? Even with just us going after only the ones we wanted. Okay. So, and I just want to show you this. During doing this process, oh, and you know what? Sorry, let me go back to VS Code. Oh, yeah, I didn't actually version control this though. Now, by not version controlling it, okay, I hope this doesn't confuse anybody. GitHub.io. My first name would be good here. Okay. Okay. There we go. Because I haven't version control that backup stuff, notice it's still green, right? Now I could come over here. Then I could go git add star. Oh, no, 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 no. See, I'm glad I thought about this. No, 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 no. Means it won't be there. But because I haven't pushed this code, because I just added it, right? Git status. Yeah, 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 yeah. Changes not staged, which are these. These are staged but not, and untracked ones, right? So I do have over here. So if I do this last command, anyway, I apologize if that was confusing. Um, I was thinking that once I version controlled these, that my site over here would no longer, it would show or an error, okay, because it didn't have anything to render. But I forgot I had not done the final step, which is git push. And once I do that, okay, at that point, check this out. But it might take a minute, and this can happen on GitHub.io. I'm just going to tell you. One of the things you can do takes a moment, takes a minute, right? Takes it a minute to go back. But until then, one of the things we could do is just type template. Oh, and it's not there yet either. Now, that just means the GitHub hasn't rendered it. I could always go to my site or my own GitHub, and I could see if under my GitHub IO here, I can see if the files are here, right? Oh, yeah, they're there. Oh, look at that. Oh, and these are still there as well. Interesting. They should not have been there. Oh, that's right. What I said before. Now, let's do git add star. I'm going to clear this because now I'm going to take care of this. And I could have done it like I showed you before. Git commit. Backing up old index. Wow. Something like that. Cool. Git push. When I've done that and I come back and refresh here, right? Cool. Oh, it should be gone. There's the backup. Did I not delete them? No, I deleted them. Okay, let me just go to the root then and see if I need to, let me see here. Is there git add star? Oh, git status. Yep, that's what it was. Git commit -m, because just doing the version control here, I could have actually done the git workflow from the root of my GitHub IO and taking care of all that. But it's not a bad thing to understand how to break those things into their folders and do them from there and kind of see them as they go across. Okay, removing old index.html files from root. There we go. And then git add and then git push. Oh, wait a minute. What does it say? Git add, git commit. Uh-oh. What happened? Yeah, they're still there. Okay, while I check this out, let's see if template actually got rendered yet. Oh, it did. Right on. Right on, rendered there. Okay, let me pause and see if I can figure out what happened on that other one. Oh, yes, I did. Look at this. GitHub really, if you pay attention, will tell you, right? Because these files were deleted, there's a new GitHub command we need to do. Git add / remove. Now can I just do all these files to update? Can I do, oh, I can't. Okay, so git add, is that the right command? RM? No, actually do git remove. Nope, without R. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, so I read the message again, and I don't think I've ever seen this. And maybe it's because of the way I did it, but I need to actually do git rm, and then I've done already the contact, and now I'm going to do the CSS file. Cool, right? Git status. Cool. Git changes to commit. Nope. I want to git add star them, and then git commit. Say removing files. Let's see if this works. Cool. Git push should remove those files. Let's see if it does. It does. Oh wow, that's something I've actually never done quite that way, so I apologize if that was confusing, but it's a really good thing to learn about. So I guess in summary, one of the things I could say here is that I could have just opened this root folder for GitHub IO and then done all of my Git workflow from there, and it would have been fine, I think. But if they do happen to do that, then just pay attention to the messages. And in this case, I showed you what I ended up doing was I did the git, is it in my list? And I'm using the up arrow here. It's not, of course, just the remove. So instead of all those other ones, oh yeah. So pay attention to that and ask me if you have any questions about that. That was an interesting one. So what we saw here is now, by the way, if I just go to my site right now, it's actually probably going to either give me an error or it'll just do the README file. And of course, it's still showing me. Oh, there it goes. Finally. So now I know I've moved. Matter of fact, I could do this. I could do backup. Let me move my mouse out of the way so you can see it. Take off my and do .io, make it a little bigger, and then do backup. So that's the old things I had before. Awesome. And then I could do template. Cool. That's the template. That's awesome. Okay. And so those two things are rendering correctly. And right now, and here's what happens is if you don't have an index file under your GitHub IO, guess what it renders? The README file. Okay. Which is kind of good to know, actually, all in all. Okay, so that was quite a fun process. I don't know if you call it fun, but in this case, right? So what you want to do, reply here, right? You want to reply with the template, right? The template URL for your GitHub IO, right? Because that's really the most of what you've done here, right? And then once you've got it complete, right? You don't have to show us the backup one, but just make it sure it's there. I'm actually considering using it for something else, but we'll see. Provide us a link and review your file and find at least 3 code and or files you want to learn more about. So here's what that means. At this point, and I have it in my editor, I'm going to go into my index page. I'm going to start looking for, oh yeah, you know what? I want to know about this font. Oh yeah, I want to know what this SOC is. Let's learn a little about that, right? I want to know, oh yeah, what's this mobile nav? I think I know what that is, right? Oh yeah, so here's some classes I want to know about. So at least start digging in, because that's, by the way, is the next thing you're going to do in this week, is actually start analyzing that file. Okay, sorry if that was a little confusing, but I think in the end, hopefully we got there. Let me know if you have any questions.